Well, hello. I'd like to start off by apologizing for the weird mic thing that happened last stream. Um, that shouldn't happen again this time, though. But anyways, last time I was talking about speeding up, like the text and stuff, and let's open this up actually. Since then, I have done a lot to do that. I forget exactly what the ideas I were throwing out were, but basically now we have a simple compositor. And so we got a back buffer, and we also got a buffer just for the terminal, and then, they compare what changed, and then only the stuff that changed is written. And, well, after all this, it's as fast as it was before, which is good. It looks better than it did before. Before you could, it looked weird as it was all coming in. Now it kind of comes in nice and smooth. So that's good. Uh, and it's not slower. In the first iteration, it was over 2 times slower, but now it's fine. But I'm going to right now try to implement the idea I said last time of kind of storing procedure in a variable, and I'm just going to do it in assembly. Because I don't, I'm not sure how to do an ADA. I mean, I could just use system address as an ADA, but that's a pain. Yeah, so let's go to driver handler. To start out, well, first I have clock here. Let's set up a baseline for how fast this thing is. I guess we should probably, well, okay, let's see this. Well, actually, okay, I'm gonna put it in the terminal because then it's a lot easier to, like, type and then press a thing. Okay, and so the thing I've been using to test the how fast it is just the dump RAM command, dump RAM disk. Because this is what takes the most time. There's a lot of stuff it prints out. As it prints out, it keeps scrolling up, and that's the thing that takes a noticeably long time. So let's get out the clock. And so I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to press start. And so let's see how long this takes. And so you see, it's not faster, but it looks so much better than before. Before you'd see it was flashing and stuff. Now it's like you can't even see where it's drawing necessarily. At least I don't think you can. It's a little slower on the actual framework laptop. Because the screen is so much bigger. It's like 280p or so, no, 2080p. Oh shoot. Um, man. Okay, wait. It was around 34 seconds, 32 seconds. Okay, we can do this again. We can do this again. Um. Anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, so it's a bit slower on that, and you can see kind of like it looks like a bar moving down, like on those old TVs and stuff. Yeah, it's not bad. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot better. This isn't the most thorough way of testing speed, but due to just how, yeah, 32 seconds. Due to how long it takes, you know, it's a good enough measure. Um, so yeah, what I'm going to do is like, okay, I think I'll make a general thing for storing a procedure in a thing, you know. Um, I'm not sure this is easier written in assembly. It might actually be like about the same written in Ada. Might as well. Do we already have system addresses in here? No. Okay, well. Okay. Well, no, that's something different. Okay, let's see. I guess, okay, let's make that a utility thing. One second. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so I guess let's make this a utility thing. Um, package. Let's see. I guess let's call it proceed callable container. Right, no, ADS. What? Okay. Okay, wait, no, I didn't name that correctly. I don't even think we need all this. It's not actually that hard to just do, you know, like from scratch. I think I know how to collage. I think it would be with like the dot all, maybe. They're built-in containers. Okay, that's not very useful. I think dot all would work. Let's test it out. Actually, wait. Oh, you can do is access procedure. Bruh. Okay, so in that case, that shouldn't be too hard, yeah. I guess we can still make a util thing for call able there, containing these types. Well, okay, let's look at what we need first. Driver handler. Here we go, okay. So the ones we want to do this for, let's start off with just the draw 2 pixels procedure, because that's the one in Quemu at least, which is called the most for that thing, because it optimizes like, oh, if we're doing this, just use draw 2 pixels, or just use draw 4 pixels. So it uses a lot of draw 2 pixels. Yeah, okay. What the hell? Well, first let's actually just see roughly how much faster this will be by just kind of removing the case statement, because the only one that uses this is Quemu right now. Will this have a big effect? Who knows? Let's see, and then we'll implement. I mean, either way we want to implement probably. The current method is not the best. I'm just curious. Yeah, the current driver handler is getting a little big. Just putting it all in one thing maybe was not the best idea, but it is what it is. Okay, so we can have... Okay, we'll let this start it. Let's test it out. Well, that's a second faster. I mean, a second faster is a second faster. Yeah, I mean, it was just a case statement. I thought it might have a bit more of an effect, considering it's called every single time, but I guess not. Why is my mouse like that? Okay, let's see. Okay, what is this? I know. But like, okay, listen, we don't need to make like a callable type, like a new type for every single procedure. So this four integer inputs, no output, like that, like nothing else, but maybe there'll be something else. Is access procedure. Bro, do I really need to... Do you think it's gonna complain if the parameters aren't the same? If it does, that's like, man. Although I have a feeling it might. What I'm doing right now isn't very Ada-like. Speaking of Ada-like, oh my god, just to... Well, I kind of vibe with it, but like... Where was it? In the compositor I made, so I was optimizing it this morning, and I needed to like add numbers, like constants, like 1, 2, and 3. But the thing is, I was adding it to an unsigned, and I also had these definitions for like, oh, what if you add an integer and an unsigned, or an unsigned and an integer, and so it started complaining. It's like, I don't know if I meant to add this as an integer or an unsigned. And it's like, I don't care. But anyways, here we are. We have a few new constants right here. So that's nice. I also have this. Sped it up a good amount, actually. Um, yeah. Let's see. Guess for the moment, let's just... Well, first, let's try just this, maybe, and see if it works. Um, I don't like that it's not highlighted, but that's just the syntax, that's probably fine. So we did that, and then let's go to this. Draw 2 pixels, where are you? I'm guessing we have to put the all. And let's see. Representation item appears too late. Driver handler 85. Well, that doesn't sound like a bad bug. Wait, did it say in... Okay, ADS. 85. Oh, because this... Man, I don't need to export that. I don't know why I'm exporting everything. Like, it's not being used like that. Missing argument for parameter I3. Oh. I'm using the other draw 2 pixels here. Wait. Let's do I. Yeah, because then I also have 2 things of that. One where it's like... The other where it's, Is this ambiguous? I think this is ambiguous. It certainly is ambiguous. That's not the best. Let's see what it says. Yeah. What did I just press? Whatever, okay. What? Okay. Or for now, let's just bump you up. Oh, this is unsigned integer. Let's go. Okay, unsigned. UIII. Man, okay, I'll come up with better names and stuff. So far, this seems to all be working. Okay, yeah, so that works fine. So then we can actually implement this now. Okay, so that's good. That's good. I need a way to differentiate between these and this. So this one takes like a position, and this like from the frame buffer, and the other one takes an X and a Y. And there really isn't that much of a speed difference between the two. Like honestly, the one that takes the position just saves one multiplication, but like, well, actually also a load address, you know, it adds up, adds up. Yeah. Although, you know, we don't even have to do this. Yeah, we should, inside the thing, determine what to do, yeah. And so, yeah. So for now, let's just, well, let's move this back to how it was. Let's go. Is that a new thing? Is that a procedure called that? And so this should also cut down on the size I was talking about, because a lot of this is redundant. I mean, not redundant, but you see it's every single one is the same thing. Switch statement. We can now just do one switch statement. And I mean, when you're switching drivers, it's minimally less. Or like very little takes more time, but like, who cares? You know, you're switching a driver, what you expect. Although this doesn't work well for switching anyways. No support for like multiple displays or anything, but you know. graphics implementation is when, so we have a few options when, what are they again? And so for the others, we'll just set it to null, because it doesn't exist. Man, I hate that, like, well, I had to change my thing so enter no longer does the auto suggest, just because, like, sometimes I'd be doing this and it'd be like, it was so annoying. But also, I do, like, I still use tab and stuff for stuff because I like that. But I hate that whenever I do a try put procedure, then puts all the parameters in the thing. Like, man, just let me, just type the rest of the thing. Look at this. Oh, that was a variable. Well, that's why, you know. There's probably a setting to change it, but like, meh. Let's see if the speed still stays up. Expected type, blah blah blah. Found type. System address. What do you expect? Oh, you expected an access. I don't need to be doing this anyways. First of all, draw 2 pixels raw does not exist. No, but wait, no, it does exist. Wait, what am I? Unsigned integer. Seems to match it. Pragma convention for UII. Man, it's just in a different, oh, bruh. Okay, this, that looks right. Maybe there's an interfaces unsigned, like just called unsigned. Doesn't look like it, but you know, let's see. Man. Do you think it's So do I have to... Okay, let's check this out. Let's make... Yeah, let's go with the util. Maybe just including it will be enough, but otherwise we can try doing pragma, whatever it is, pragma convention. Okay, so let's see. We need that here. Maybe because interfaces. Okay, let's... Unsigned is undefined. What? Oh. Callables. Still says that, so let's go here. Draw 2 pixels raw. It imports with a C convention, I think, unless... what? Unless I can do that, can I? Man, what do you think what do you mean it's a wrong convention? It's the right convention. Bruh, okay, does that even matter? I always just put C. Man, so I guess it has to be wrapped. That's my guess of why this isn't working, which is quite annoying. But it's not that much work to do. We can just go like this. Let's actually copy the whole thing. Can then go here. And we can just make it inline, so it doesn't even matter. And we just call it position color 1, color 2. So that should be enough. If it complains again, that's a good sign. When it complains about unimportant things. Okay. Everything seems right so far. Let's check out how fast this is. I wonder if the correct way to go about this is doing the .all, or if we can just set a procedure to be the .all. I'm not sure. If this at least isn't slower, then it's what I'm gonna go with, because that is like, okay, it's slower. That's concerning. Is it? Well, also, we're doing one test at a time. There are fluctuations. Let's run it again. See. Because it's a much nicer way of doing things, I feel like. Especially, even if now there's just two devices. Um, like, if the case statement grows, or like, yeah, it's not the right way to do things, I feel like. However, I think putting .all also isn't the right way to do things. I feel like there should be a way to, although shouldn't a compiler optimize that? Why do I have to do that? Seems I do have to do it though. Let's try, so that's 57.7. Let's try going back to what it was. Let's just that. Today I ate hot ramen out of a vending machine. That was quite the experience. Literally living in the future, man. Okay, let's see. No, I feel like I can see this one's faster. Maybe I'm crazy, but I swear it looks faster. Man, all that shouldn't be anything more than, maybe because I didn't make it inline. Well, it's a variable. Doesn't have to be inline now, does it? Oh, okay. No. Yeah, well, it's not. Based on that alone, it looks like it's marginally faster than the case statement, which, it's a case statement. How much faster can it be? I think that one time we did it, and we just removed all of it, and it was just the one thing, was like, it was a bit faster, but I think that was more like a fluke, you know? Yeah, but what's great about this compositor is it adds a lot of room for optimization. Previously, it was almost like impossible, because everything was just directly drawing to the frame buffer, and that's kind of. Then, if you want to optimize something, you gotta optimize them all, because optimization, at least of this, tends to require a lot of knowledge of the things around it. I mean, there are other ways you can optimize without knowing that, but that's like one of the main things. Now we have that, so that's nice. Yeah, so I think that's like 0.05% faster. That's pretty good. Yeah, so I guess let's just put a few other things in there. Although, okay, wait. Yeah, okay, so I guess we'll just go with the convention I also put in here, which was raw. Um, I don't even know why raw fits. Well, I guess it kind of raw access, not pre-calculated. I mean, it still does do a little pre-calculation. It adds an address to it, but yeah, that's what I put as that. I guess that's what we'll keep as. convention. And so this we can get rid of. And that's nice. But let's also add the normal one. Draw 2 pixels. And that should be not UII, but I. Colorables. We should also probably put these with a prefix. Callable. Callable. That's good enough. Type callable. I is access procedure. Yeah. Well, you know, this is easier than I thought it would be. Goes to show what useful stuff. Note the documentation. Man, Ada, well, actually, the Ada actual stuff does have some good stuff. It's really annoying that when you try to look up Ada, a lot of the time it comes up with the Accessibility Act. But, you know, okay, that's fine. But, like, I don't know, they're tracking everything. Can't Google just know that I don't want to see that and I want to see this? But it's always Wikibooks. Wikibooks has the best stuff on Ada I've found. And I don't even know what Wikibooks is. I would think it's books. Is this a book, maybe? I don't think so, but you know, I'm glad it's like that. Maybe there's just some guy in here that really likes Ada. Is Ada programming is a book? No, it's not a book. It's a tutorial. Oh, is Wikibook meant to... It's not actually about books, it's just meant to be comprehensive knowledge. Oh. Okay, that's really cool, actually. That's cool. I like that. I'm gonna look more into this later. That's pretty cool. Yeah, one of my big gripes with the internet is that there's a lot of information on things, but then as soon as you get a bit more in-depth, the amount of information out there quickly dwindles, you know? And even if there is stuff on there that gives good in-depth information, it's usually really covered up by all the other slop put out there, you know? Okay, well, let's also draw 4 pixels. Long unsigned man. I'll put unsigned long. That, yeah, so that's like a modifier. Coming up with our own little notation. Let's actually write some definition. I don't think we had to write all that. Like, honestly, you can just look at this and see. But, you know, it's good to write stuff. I always like to write this stuff when it doesn't actually matter. When it does matter, like, you know, I'll figure that out later. That messes up the space thing. You know what I noticed today, actually, is that I don't think I've used a float in this entire project. Yeah. Discrete math for the win. And so... Then we have some functions, which just return integers and a long unsigned. So let's see. Will Ada let me do a double underscore? That's the question. Yeah, it doesn't. Sure, why not? Oh, we don't need to do this all right now. Let's just do these. Now, is this gonna let me do the thing, or am I going to have to make wrappers for that too? I also have to change how I reference those other places now to drawpixel.all. Okay, so that's using renderer. Oh, I forgot the CA prefix. Yeah. Man, it really just doesn't care what's in this pragma. Well, I guess the rest then to fixing that is just putting in boilerplate to wrap them in Ada-like things. Oh, if we change it from C to Ada, it works just fine. Can we just... Like, honestly, I don't know why there was C all the time. It's just that's the first way I saw it, and I was like... The only one that's... Okay, that's still in here. Well, that's nice. That's just because I should be using raw. Well, nice, it all seems to be working. Yeah, well, I'm gonna call it quits for today, but you know, good progress, good progress.